Hello everybody, it's Now You're Cooking Thursday night demo. Welcome. We are doing something with lemons tonight, if you couldn't guess. We have Johnna Stanton.
Hello, happy to be back.
We may remember you from apple pie, gluten-free apple pie that was so delicious.
Oh, thank you very much.
It was fantastic. And tonight
we are making dairy-free, gluten-free lemon squares.
And I sneaked a little bite of one earlier, and you would not know that they were lemon-free. You would not know that they were dairy and gluten-free. They were delicious and definitely lemony. Before we start, I just want to mention spring into summer, which is happening May 20th, Saturday, May 20th, all downtown. We here at Now You're Cooking are going to have a tent sale over on the Customs House lawn, so right next door across Lombard Street. That is going to go on from 9 to 2, so we're going to open the tent about an hour before we open the store. You never know, we may trickle into the store and open the store early too, but so that's going to be 9 to 2. Most of the events downtown are 10 to 2, so that 4-hour window. Lots of fun stuff. Family crafts, plant pot painting, family scavenger hunt, just to name a few. All kinds of fun things. Other stores are doing sales and promotions as well. It's going to be a fun day.
I can't wait.
Yay!
Hooray!
Let's get started.
All right. Well, I promised the people last time was a fun-filled comedy, Ted Lasso style. Today we're bringing the drama. And Louisa, the drama started before I even walked through the door.
What happened?
Well, let me tell you, I pre-made a little bit of crust because it is better to be prepared, as we all know. And I did not leave enough time for thawing.
Oh, no.
And I put it in the pan and it was a brick. So let me be a cautionary tale to you. Everything is settling in fine now, thanks to Louisa. She broke it up, and it's had some time to warm up. But definitely if you're going to refrigerate the dough, which you don't need to do, the recipe does not call for that. If you need to, however, give it some time.
to soften, because you want to press it into the pan.
Yes.
And it's hard to press a brick into a pan.
I mean,
it just doesn't.
I'm pretty strong from yoga, but I'm not that strong, and it wouldn't be delicious. Mm-hmm. So what I would suggest is, it is a two-parter, but like I said, last time was so fun. I wanted to challenge myself a little bit, and I was delightfully surprised that this was a pretty easy recipe. A lot of the things that you use for the crust, you also use ingredients-wise in the lemon curd.
And if you are already gluten-free, you probably are going to have most of the ingredients. I mean, the only ingredients that you might not have in your house are gluten-free flour and non-dairy butter.
Yes.
Right? Everything else is stuff you have.
Which is also nice for people like myself who have to be dairy and gluten-free, because a friend of mine once warned me, don't just try to replace all of your glutinous items with gluten-free versions, because it can get really heavy into chemicals and it just doesn't taste as good. She was right. And I think last time I mentioned this, but it's worth mentioning again, highly recommend, because I am lazy or busy, however you want to.
Busy. We'll call you busy.
So I don't mess with the xanthan gum. I feel like there are professionals who do it. Let's let them. This has been the best one-to-one, although some people really like Pillsbury. I just haven't tried that. So this is great. And then I think, again, the Smart Balance is a really good vegan alternative. It's non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, and non-dairy. So that's nice too.
So I was just going to say, this whole thing is vegan, but it's not, because it has eggs in it.
It does. And I think, what I'm reading is that there's a lot of really good egg substitutes out there. So if you are a purist or you're allergic to eggs, I think it shouldn't be a problem. I can't speak to this consistency, but it should be okay.
I bet it'll taste good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
awesome. So what's the first thing we do?
So
you do, because I'm not doing anything.
Wait a minute. So the first thing that we do is I would definitely recommend doing the pastry first, because you've got to pop that in the oven. So I whipped up the flour, the sugar, the eggs, and an interesting little tidbit, speaking of drama, that I also learned is it does matter with gluten-free things, and I'm sure with other baking as well. It matters the order that you put things in. When I made my test batch, it was a little clumpy. I knew it would taste fine in the end, but I didn't like the way it looked. And in that batch, I put the flour in first. So when I was making a second batch, I put the melted butter in first. Gasp.
With what other ingredients?
So I put the melted butter in, and then a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then I put the sugar in, and then I put just a smidge of salt. Then, as the blender's going, I slowly added the flour, and then the texture was beautiful.
So that is like making cookies. Generally, you beat your eggs and sugar, or your butter and sugar. Usually, it's butter, sugar. Then you add your eggs. Then you add your dry ingredients or your other dry ingredients. So similar way to mix things.
You know,
I've made a cookie or two in my time.
I bet you have. I bet they've been
One or
delicious.
two.
Favorite cookie of all time?
Peanut butter chocolate chip.
Oh God, yes.
With oatmeal.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe
we'll do that another time, folks.
That next time. That
Teaser.
Good. So then, once you have your pastry created, you're just going to press it in. And I did try a couple of other ways, and really, I think the best way to go about it is, and I am realizing as I'm doing this, that I did one thing terribly wrong. The drama, people. Parchment paper. Uh-oh. This will not be a big deal. It'll just be a little bit messier. But if you don't like mess and you want to pull your lemon bars out, definitely recommend the parchment underneath. But if you don't really care, it's fine. Just keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't burn underneath. So we're pressing, and
this show is really full of drama tonight.
Are you guys on the edges of your seat? Because
I know I am.
We
and
are.
I'm not even sitting down.
What's going to happen next? I don't know. It's pretty exciting stuff. Did you notice, audience, that we're in a new space? It's the new Now You're Cooking space. Speaking of drama, it's pretty exciting.
It is pretty exciting.
Yeah. Are you loving it so far?
Yeah, we've done a couple of demos, which now you know where we've been doing our last couple of demos.
Oh, is it a secret or drama?
I tell you, Johnna. No, it's
and
fine.
I'll see myself out. I understand.
I'll just finish the demo for you. No, we are really excited. We're waiting for some light fixtures, and other than that, we are totally ready to go and eager. So this is a good time to mention that next week is our last scheduled Thursday night demo. I'm going to be making chicken mole enchiladas.
Hello.
And there's also a recipe for refried beans and Mexican rice. I don't know if I'll make those at the same time, too. It's a really easy dinner to put together all at once, just with the timing and stuff. But anyway, the reason that is our last scheduled demo, we'll still be doing them. We'll have pop-ups live on Facebook, I'm sure, from time to time, and we'll probably maybe be doing more live demos, which would be so much more fun probably for people. Our oven
I
is up to
crave a studio audience.
Okay, so we may have to invite a studio audience when Johnna finally gets her cake recipe perfected.
Listen, my students will tell you that I am a diva. That's,
I'm getting that.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Well, no, it's a little true. But don't put that in the comments, people.
So as soon as we get our lighting and we get everything ready to go, we're going to start doing in-person live classes again, and we are so excited.
I can't wait.
We're also going to be doing wine tastings, regular wine tastings, so we'll probably be back to at least once a month, which was what we were doing before the pandemic hit. We had to stop being with people publicly. And we will be doing also a wine tasting on Saturday, May 20th. We'll be doing a wine tasting here in the kitchen for spring into summer, and we'll have Jules from Nappy will be here with some yummy wines. What's that?
Noon to 2.
From noon to 2. So please come see us on Saturday the 20th. I'll just get the store for you.
Now, for those of us with no wine palate, Would this be a good place to come and learn?
Absolutely.
How to drink wine?
That is a great question. We didn't practice this, I swear.
This is all impromptu.
So the wine tastings, we have one of our distributors or a rep from the distributors come. They bring 4 to 6 wines and a nice balance of whites and reds, sometimes a rosé, sometimes a bubbly. And you come in, there's no schedule to it. There's a starting time and an end time. Other than that, you come whenever you can, grab a glass, and they'll pour for you and tell you about the different wines. They can talk to you about what you should be looking for, what you could be looking for, what you might taste, or they may leave you to say, what are you tasting?
What do you think?
If you say, because I do that all the time, like, what am I supposed to be tasting here? And they're like, what do you taste? That's what you're supposed to be tasting.
Okay.
So it's really helpful. It's a great way to learn about wine. Like I said, we'll be trying to do them at least once a month from now on. So great opportunity to come in and try a few wines. They're usually from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. They are free. They're open to the public. You must be 21 years of age.
That's just good common sense, people. Don't try to get in here. We will card you.
Could you turn the lights back on?
Drama. More drama.
It's okay.
Also, Louisa, the wines are on discount.
And the wines, the night of, or the afternoon in the case of the 20th, will be discounted for that period only. So we'll have the wines available in cases, so you can taste the wines, pick the ones you like. You may like all of them, you may not like any of them, you may like a couple of them. Everybody's palate is different.
That's true.
And you can try all of the wines. Some people come in and say, well, I only like white wine or I only like red wine. Yes, so you only get a little tiny pour. Yeah, and that's the law. We can't let you drink too much.
I think that's a good law.
It is a good law.
Yeah,
I agree.
That all sounds scintillating, and I cannot wait to try it.
So I can also offer that Johnna Stanton will be at our next wine tasting, and she'll be talking about any gluten-free, dairy-free products that you want to learn about cooking.
And speaking of that, I'm just setting my timer. I would like to offer a challenge to the audience. Are you ready?
Yeah.
More drama. So Louise and I have talked about a lot of, I'm trying to up my gluten-free, dairy-free baking game, and I'm a little bit out of sorts as to what to try next. So I would love if maybe you, dear audience, and there might be just my mom. I don't know.
Maybe in the comments?
Maybe in the comments. What do you think we should make next?
Yeah.
Or what do you love?
What's your favorite really successful gluten-free recipe? I love that idea.
Thank
you should be on here more often.
All right.
You should take over my job.
Well, let's not talk crazy. This is sort of the outside of what I can do.
Okay. Well, you're doing a pretty darn good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's get to that filling.
Okay.
And I think I called it a curd earlier. That's not correct. I mean, it might be. I don't know.
So lemon curd is what you normally make to put in normal gluten and dairy full lemon bars.
So maybe
it's basically a lemon curd.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
I know more than I think I know, which is what I tell my students all the time.
Yeah.
You know more than you think you do.
Oh, you don't tell them that you know more than you
No, because they don't care. And so I'm going to put 6 eggs into here, and I must apologize to my 7th grade home economics teacher who, if she is alive and watching this, would be very disgusted that I am not, or sad, disappointed, that I am not putting these eggs first in a measuring cup to make sure they're all of high quality, which
And
is
no shells.
no shells.
Yeah.
So I'm not, and there's one right.
What was her name?
Mavis Mead.
Mrs. Mead. Did you have her too?
She was
Mavis Mead, we hope you're watching.
Hope you are too. And I'm sorry, but there's one tiny shell, but so far they look great.
Well, you're not adding them into anything else. So even if that were the case, you could still.
you.
Sorry, Mavis, but I gotta just say.
The support here. So then we'll whisk it up. And I don't think you need an electric beater for this unless you want one. It really is pretty easy to mix them all together.
Now, I noticed that your arm muscles are bulging. Is that from doing yoga?
Louisa, stop. It is from doing yoga, and if you're interested in more, no one in particular out there. I do teach a class at 4:30 every Thursday at Bath Dance Works.
Which is why we're here Wednesday instead of Thursday.
That's right, which I really appreciate. And tomorrow I'm doing a little double header. I'm pretty excited about it. So I have my 4:30 class, which I love, and it's a vinyasa flow. And then I'm headed down to Ebb and Flow Yoga Studio. I'm covering for Courtney and doing a heated flow tunes. And I love covering for Courtney because it's a really fun class. And I spend an inordinate amount of time trying to create a playlist that will be cool.
Like cool?
Well,
or
she's very
cool because it's hot?
No, it's hot. Okay. Hot playlist. Because she's a very cool cat, and she has, all the new tunes. So I ask my students to help me. Like, is this no foul words, but still fun, which apparently is difficult to do, but we're doing it. So 4:30 or 6 to 7.
And what is your business called?
My business is just called Johnna Stanton Yoga, because I've tried to think of something clever and I just couldn't.
The name kind of says it all.
I mean, it is.
It is Johnna Stanton Yoga.
Yep, it's pretty clear. Half a cup of granulated sugar. So that is the name, and we're going to test it out and see if it resonates with people. Maybe on some future show we can have a little contest where people can submit
Or
names.
next time we can be doing downward dog while we're making cake.
Yes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Guys, drama. Wardrobe.
There you go.
Someone's getting fired. That's all I know. All right, thank you.
It may be me.
It's probably me. I'm pretty expendable at this point. All right, so we've got a half a cup of granulated sugar. Then we want a teaspoon of the vanilla extract.
And you're, I noticed, using alcohol-free vanilla.
I am.
Is there a reason for that, or just you like it?
Not really. I will tell you, and I am not being paid by Trader Joe's to say this, I really almost exclusively shop at Trader Joe's, and they have a couple different versions, and this one said pure vanilla flavor, so I thought this is the one I should get.
For anybody that doesn't know, usually vanilla extract is vanilla beans in alcohol, some kind of alcohol, whether it's rum or vodka or bourbon or whatever it is, or just spirits. It doesn't have to be anything
It's
special.
not that kind of show.
No.
Or maybe it is. Maybe it will be now. So this calls for 1/2 teaspoon of salt, but I find just 2 grinds. I'm trying to watch the 2.
That was 3 grinds.
Was it 3? Oh, God. Cut. This lemon curd is ruined. So just 3 grinds.
It was still less than a teaspoon,
Yeah,
a half teaspoon.
yeah. We have to watch the healthy heart. And then we'll put in a couple of cups of the gluten-free flour. So, let's see. And I have found you don't need a full 2 cups. It sort of depends and I'm not going to use a full 2 cups, but close to. That sort of depends on how thick you want the curd to be on top. So I like mine to have just a little bit of give to it. Yeah. But if you're just trying this for the first time, I'd say just do the 2 cups, because then you'll get exactly what you were hoping for.
And I usually often recommend that people follow the recipe the first time you make it, and then go to town. Add whatever you want, take out whatever you want. I mean, with baking, it's a little different, but like making a soup or making, whatever, chili or whatever, you can add your own ingredients once you figure out how everything works together.
And that actually reminds me, thank you for that beautiful segue. The first time I made this, I was struck by how much sugar there was in it. And another one of my, my journeys have a lot of goals, a lot of dreams, and I love sugar. Did we talk about this last time?
Yeah.
Still love sugar, and still trying to cut it out where I can. So there was like a wild amount. It was 2 full cups in the curd, and I cut that down to 1.5 cups. And I think you could even get away with a little bit less if you're trying to cut down sugar. And it's still really sweet. I mean,
yeah, if that's how you made the ones that you brought in there, it's delicious. And I am not a big sugar eater, so I was very happy with less sugar. If it was sweeter than that, I may not have liked it as much.
I agree. I mean, it was really, I gave it to my students because they love sugar. So I did put 1/2 cup in, and then I was chatting, and I forgot to put the other cup of the sugar in. So 1.5 cups of sugar
is what you do, or what the recipe calls
is what I do, and the recipe calls for 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of flour. Yeah,
got it.
Yeah, and again, I will say I'm not going to experiment here because.
Hold it for you.
Thank you.
I might as well do something useful.
You're very helpful and useful. I might even, if I were just making them for myself, which I'm sure I will, I might cut it down to 1 cup.
Yep.
But I think that your advice is good. Do what the recipe says first, and then play. Okay. So that's all made, and
lemon juice.
Thank you. That is not all made. That would have been dramatic. What do you mean you're not helpful?
I guess I'm helpful.
I mean, come on. I almost made lemon curd with no lemon. That's adorable. So, lots of lemon. And I think, can we edit that out?
No.
Are we live?
We're live, Johnna.
So, we're going to put 3/4 cups of lemon juice in. And this is another area where I think if you love lemon, you could put in more or a little less. I like mine pretty tart, but I think the 3/4 cup is pretty tart.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So the other thing that is that you probably haven't tried, but you could, is doing lime. You could do orange zest, although that would be just sweet and not really tart at all. But you could do orange and lime, or orange. Or orange and lemon, or whatever, and I think that would, like just a citrus curd, and it would be fantastic. Wow. Or if you love orange, just do orange.
Yeah,
grapefruit.
I think that would be really good.
Why
like
not?
maybe a good
Grapefruit would be awesome.
Thing. Maybe.
Yeah, you could have this for breakfast, folks. It's eggs,
highly recommend
fruit.
It. It's delicious with a nice cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Yeah, that would be good.
It's part of a well-rounded breakfast.
I think so. Get a little less sugar.
Remember on the cereal commercials, they used to say it's part of a well-rounded breakfast, and they'd have your bowl of cereal with toast and eggs and bacon and sausage and orange juice and everything else. So,
and we bought it.
Hook,
line, and sinker. My mom did. You better clean that plate. Don't you leave this table. Isn't that right, Mom?
Till all your Cheerios are gone.
I know, or your frosted. Oh, I love frosted flakes. When I think about now the sugar.
No wonder you like sugar. I didn't get Frosted Flakes. I had a very sad, deprived childhood.
So I'm really sorry about that.
I'm not, actually.
No, it actually sounds quite lovely. And I could have done with a little less sugar.
Childhood, by the way, was not sad, nor was it deprived. I had a lovely childhood.
Next time, episode 3, Louise's childhood.
Yes.
So right now, we're going to spend some time just waiting for that to bake.
How long is it baking for?
We've got another 4 minutes.
Okay.
We don't need to wait for that to cool to put the lemon curd on top, which I thought was nice. If you're kind of a hasty baker like I am, it was nice to know I didn't need to carve out another hour for that to cool down. But because we're again. The drama. I said drama.
I did, and you are living up to it.
I meant it. And I really had them arranged nicely. You're just going to have to take my word for it. Through the magic of television, I'm using Louise's words, we have a final product. And what you'll do, I did have a friend at work who suggested that I take are they like flambe torches or something?
Oh, yeah, you could brulee it.
She really thought I should brulee it, and I was like, listen, I think that's beyond my skill set.
Well, if I knew we're figuring out where things go in the kitchen. If I knew where we put the torches, I would torch one for you. But I don't know where we put them.
Well, because I refrigerated these, and you notice, although, audience, you're too kind to say, they're a little bit damp on top. It does not affect the flavor, but if you're a purist, you might not like that. So you might wait to put the powdered sugar on just before you're going to be on Facebook Live if you're classy.
Or just before you serve them.
Or just before you serve them. But that was not my journey because I get nervous. So I'm going to just apply a little bit more.
You have nothing to be nervous about. This is fantastic.
So
You're doing a great job,
I'm
Johnna.
going to
You're doing a
confess
great
to you
job.
that I'm kind of a nervous person. It's true. That's true. That's why teaching really suits me, right down to my toes. And
those look
there
amazing.
you go.
Should we try one?
I think we should.
Okay, I already tried one, but they're
so
so good. I want to try another one.
I've only had 7, so I'm going to just have one more, I think.
I'm going to try to avoid talking with my mouth full, but the bottom is nice and crisp.
Thank you.
It's really a delightful experience, folks.
It's tart.
I would tell it's
Tart like your host. Sassy.
Sassy like your hostesses.
Yeah.
But not too sweet.
Good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, folks. So next week, make sure you join us for our last scheduled Thursday night demo. We're going to be making chicken mole enchiladas, and it's a really easy, not a traditional recipe. It's a very simple recipe. And then Spring into Summer is Saturday, May 20th, and we hope to see you at our, our yard sale, our tent sale, and at our wine tasting. It's going to be our first wine tasting in our new kitchen, so you get to check out the new kitchen. And thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. It's such a treat, always.
And it's a treat to have you.
Thank you. Maybe I'll see some of you at yoga.
As soon as Johnna has her cake recipe, which she's promised us, as soon as she has that perfected, we will do a pop-up demo. There it is.
Oopsie. And if you have any ideas about what you would like to see us whip up next, gluten, dairy-free, or just gluten-free, put it in the comments. We love a challenge.
I think Johnna did that. Johnna knocked off my microphone.
Like I said, diva. No apologies. Thank you.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. Bye.